call the meeting to order. If you'll please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening. Will you call the roll, please?
Sloan?
Here.
Henning?
Here.
Gorman?
Here.
Merkel?
Here.
Kelly? Here. Lieberman?
Here.
Dietering.
Here. So we'll move right to the clerk's report.
Okay, you have before you the council meeting minutes of May 15th, 2014.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gorman, second by Ms. Kelly. Any discussion?
I have to abstain.
Yes.
Will you call the roll, please?
Sloan?
Yes.
Henning?
No.
Gorman?
Yes.
Merkel?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Lieberman?
Yes.
Dietering.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else from the
No,
clerk?
thank
We have one item of old business. We have an ordinance. Will you read the title, please?
Ordinance O-ZC-14-01, an ordinance adopting the Planning Commission's recommendation to approve the application of Good Samaritan Hospital for a change to zoning from single-family residential to office service for the property located at 65 Heathcliff Road, 99 Heathcliff Road, and 133 Heathcliff Road in the city of Clayton, Ohio.
Okay, we had a hearing on this last meeting, and this is just to change the zoning. It is not to build anything. Is there a
I'll
motion?
move for approval. I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Sloan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have two items of new business, three items, I'm sorry. We have one ordinance. Will you read the title, please?
Ordinance O-06-14-09, an ordinance approving amendment of Article 6, subsection D, holidays, of the city's Personnel Practices Manual.
Chief Garter?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you have a request to change our policy manual to include part-time holiday pay. Currently, the policy has holiday pay for all of our full-time staff, and it's in city policy as well as contractual language. The fire department uses 60% of our staffing on a daily basis as part-time people. So what we're trying to do is add a benefit to them of holiday pay, just like the full-time people that work side by side each day on those holidays. We're not proposing 11 holidays like in the city manual currently for full-time. It's the 6 major holidays. How those holidays were actually came about, or those are the days or the holidays that we have the hardest time filling. So that's why the reason for that. The other thing, when you think about fire department schedules, we don't traditionally work 8 hours. When they're working at the fire department, they're there for 24 hours. So they don't have time on a holiday to get home to see their families and things like that. So they're giving up the complete holiday for 24 hours to come into the city, work for the fire department, and provide the coverage that we need for the city and the community on a holiday, which we still need. So I think it's a good benefit for them. It's within the current budget, and I am recommending the approval of that.
Brian, I just have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
You said the fire department works 24 hours, but the police department does not. But this includes the police department,
Yes,
right?
the police department will have no financial impact on them. Their staffing every day on a holiday is 2. If one of their full-time people want to take off and a part-time person will work, that part-time receives time and a half. The career person who takes off does not receive time and a half. So actually, there's actually a savings for a part-timer coming in and replacing a
All
full-timer.
right, one other question is Labor Day is a major holiday and the 4th of July is not and Memorial Day is not.
Actually, it should be 4th of July. It should be a major holiday. Labor Day is
That's not the way it is in our book here.
Yeah.
Not on mine anyway. It's
Yeah,
got
4th of
Labor
July.
Day is a major holiday, but Independence Day and Memorial Day are not.
Memorial Day is not a hard day for us to fill on the schedule. It wasn't picked out for any other reason than staffing purposes. We look at the schedule and say, what is the hardest days we have to fill? And that's what we go by. And those are the 6 days that were picked out were actually those days.
So we have New Year's Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve. Is that correct?
It should be New Year's Day, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve. That's what
Okay,
it
so
is.
we need to
You need to make
amend
a
that.
motion to amend it to change it from Labor Day to Independence Day as the major holiday.
I'll move for motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Henning, second by Mr. Gorman. Any discussion? All in favor?
Maybe I'm confused. I'm looking at the ordinance. Doesn't it say For holidays, it defines major holidays as New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, day after Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve. Are we talking about the same thing?
Not my copy. My copy says New Year's Day, and then
I've got
after it
your
says
copy.
major holiday.
You have my
And
copy?
I have the same copy as well. There's
As
yours.
I do?
Right. So
So-
maybe some were changed and some weren't. 'Cause
So what,
mine's
so what ordinance are we using?
The ones in
If they
parentheses
don't have one,
specify
pass it down
major
to
holiday.
something.
Yeah.
Like I said, the 6 major holidays are the ones I stated. There are 11 holidays for all employees of the city that are career or full-time.
Okay.
The ordinance is for 6 holidays, part-time,
Yeah.
of the ones I mentioned.
Okay, I see what you're
Never
doing.
mind.
So we're all on the same
Yeah.
page?
Yeah, we're on the same.
And they're listed major out on the side in parentheses if you got the same
Right.
copy that I've seen.
Okay.
Except Labor Day.
Okay.
Right.
The copier broken, Barbara?
No, you guys all have the
Except
same
Independence Day
They didn't
should be
realize it said major.
a major holiday, and what other one?
copy.
Okay. So we have a motion
Independence Day
to,
is the major holiday, not Labor Day.
Amend.
Okay, gotcha.
we have a motion to amend the ordinance to change a major holiday, take Labor Day off, and to make Independence Day a major holiday. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, any other questions for Brian?
Approve the motion?
Yes, before we do the motion. Okay, so is there a
this
motion?
something that the employees seem like they want?
Absolutely. When we did the employee survey, I think it's almost 2 years ago now, this was at the top of their list of, it wasn't more hourly pay, honestly. It was actually holiday pay. So we've been working on this for a while. This isn't something that just came about. This has been something we've been working on with when Rick Rose was the chief and with Dave Rollins. It's just been a long time coming, and it's finally come to the point where it's the right time to present this benefit to you for them.
And we've already got it in the budget.
It's already budgeted. This is not going to have, we not require more money to be put in that line item, a transfer or anything. It's already, there's enough in that line item to pay the part-time people for this.
So the main idea is to enable you to staff appropriately on major
Yeah,
holidays.
if part-time people decide not to show up, I got to call full-time people in and pay them time and a half. It's going to cost me more money on a holiday if they're not there.
And the part-timers work 24 hours
Yes, they
just
do.
too? Okay.
Yep.
But you don't have any trouble on the other 2 summer holidays?
Nah.
Did the employees go along with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Merkel. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have 2 resolutions. Will you read the title to the first resolution, please?
Resolution R-06-14-41, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute First Amendment to grant agreement with the State of Ohio Development Services Agency.
Mayor and council members, we were approached by the state of Ohio asking, requesting this change in the amendment to the grant. Grant was from back in 2010, from when we widened Hoke Road and received $600,000 in grant funds. What the state is, and they've looked at it, and what they've wanted to do is to actually indicate in the grants, they removed a section and in another place they added the secondary goal of the project, that the primary focus of the grant is to complete an eligible roadwork project. And it kind of appeared in the first language that the primary focus of the grant was the employment section of it. So what they did was just kind of switch their language around to say that the primary focus of the grant was to complete the eligible roadwork project, but in addition, there's a secondary goal is the creation and retention of jobs, and we report those every year for Caterpillar. We still have one more year to report those. They have met all the requirements, and it's strictly a language change that we sign off on for the grant.
I would question that is the secondary object of widening the road was to get those 600 jobs in there.
Yes, that is, but the road had to
It
be
was
the
more
the
important
primary
than
purpose.
widening the road. It'd be like the rest of Hoke Road up here if they didn't put Caterpillar in there.
That's true, but the primary purpose of the grant was to widen the road. The intent of widening the road was to allow the economic development side and the additional jobs to come.
It took them 4 years to find that, or what?
That's because it was a common sense initiative.
Yeah, there you go. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Merkel, second by, is it Mr. Sloan? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, will you read the title to the second resolution, please?
Resolution R-06-14-42, a resolution approving a social media policy.
Mayor and council members, it's come to our attention recently that the city is trying to keep up with the times. A few years ago, we started a Facebook page, and we do have Twitter accounts, and we do respond to those. And what we found is we don't really have a policy telling us when we should remove things, when do they have to be, should they be removed from the wall. If something's inappropriate, we don't really have it on policy saying that inappropriate comments should be removed. If somebody's defaming somebody, if there's a political ongoings going on, that we don't have anything in place that says when we should do certain things. And we also, by part of that, we also, by public records law, are required, because it is part of a public record, we're required to keep things. And so what we did was draft a policy, and quite frankly, we stole off other places, and we drafted a policy of common practices, and we had legal review those practices to make sure we're within our realm. And the policy just gives us some guidelines. So if there's something needs to be removed from a website, it tells us what should be removed and then where should it be placed. It should still show that it's part of a public record.
Rick, I only have one question. If you look in the public comment section, number 11, does this mean that Green Nature Cafe can't post on our website? Or on our Facebook page saying that they've got like the best nachos?
Yes, that does mean that.
That's terrible. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Well, what the problem may be is this maybe just not a Clayton. We'd end up having advertisements for every business.
But we're going to have a person monitoring it, right?
Well, I don't think we can, and I'll have to refer to legal, we may have to research this, but I don't think we can pick and choose who can put it on there. It can't be just Clayton businesses. And if we made it open to a public website that every business could come and advertise on our website, I think our website would be overloaded, and like I said, we would have no control of that.
So like if a business is going to have a grand opening or something, we can't put that on there?
I think the city can post some things as far as what we do on our website, but on our Facebook, on our social media page, what the city posts is different from what we're just asking. If anybody can come in on Facebook and post anything they choose to post, like I said, we could have every business within 25 miles deciding they wanted to place.
Right, but we could maybe set in bylaws also that we, excuse me, that would keep that from happening. If we can't, we can't, but it's a nice aspect to see local businesses on our Facebook page. It's very nice.
Are we allowed to discriminate against other businesses, Martina?
I think Rick is making a good point in that I think what the concern was is that if you allow it for one, you're going to have a lot, and that's going to be a lot for whoever's monitoring that site to monitor. If you allow one to advertise, then I would say you're going to have to allow all of them. You can't say, well, you can go on Facebook and post, an advertisement for your business, but you over here, business, cannot do that. You're getting into a tricky situation when you say, yeah, you can post, but you can't, as far as the advertising of a business is concerned.
Would businesses be able to submit maybe to the city to be focused or focused on the Facebook page? Like they're having a grand opening or?
If you want to revise this so that they can submit it for consideration for posting, I think that would be possible, but I don't know how much time that's going to take for the person who's responsible for monitoring the site to then censor what is written. Again, I think you're getting into a slippy a slope there where...
Just trying to help Clayton business.
No, and I understand, and I think Rick made a good point where if the city, if they want to contact the city and say, hey, we're going to have a grand opening, and the city wants to put that on their website, I think that would be an excellent tool for that.
So we could
I think that would
possibly
be,
facilitate some language.
I think
We do highlight local businesses on our website and do certain things. I can sure look at some other language in there to see if we would like to choose to change this in the future, but I am concerned a little bit about if we open it to every business to put, when they have their hot dog sale or whatever the case is, we may be in problems.
Cupcakes or something,
I think it'd be like coming to the meeting, if we let one come to the meeting, they're all going to be here, and we just had that a few meetings ago, that, and I don't think they need to be on our website doing their advertising. There's plenty of other media out there that.
It's good, though, to try and encourage those businesses. I think that's a good thing.
Well, I think what you're saying is if there's a special event or something, they notify the city,
Yeah,
then
we can
would-
highlight it on
yeah.
our website and not just have posted on Facebook that any business is going to put on there. If they approach us and request something, I think we can choose to take a Clayton business, say we're going to highlight it this month because of you're having an anniversary or because of something special.
Exactly.
We offer that to every Clayton business, so.
Okay, so, all right, did we have a motion on this?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gorman, second by Ms. Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, can't we just have those two elderly women on the commercial monitor it and say, I unfriend you?
I'll see if we can look for them to hire them.
Okay, that brings us to the city manager.
Our next regularly scheduled council meeting is Thursday, June 19th, believe it or not, at 7:30 PM. We also have a workshop on the 12th, and then our next council meeting after that is actually July 3rd, which is the day before Independence Day that I should have placed. By the way, it was my fault that the major holiday was on the wrong one. I have to own up to that one, but so we will have, whether we choose, if we have enough for the agenda on the July 3rd, we'll put out to council and see and be able to announce that if there is any choice of whether we do or don't want to have the July 3rd meeting. And then I would like to put it that currently our council meeting tonight can be viewed on the Clayton website. If you click on the agendas and then on the minutes, you'll see it, and you can view you can view all of our council meetings on our website throughout this year. We also, Mr. Sloan and I have worked a little bit with the cable, or with Miami Valley Cable Company Council, and I have made 2 or 3 phone calls. We've kind of been playing tag back and forth, trying to get it accomplished where we can be able to put this back on one of the local cable on a regular time. So we'll be able to announce that in the future, I think. This will be because we are an associate member of the Cable Council. It appears to be that we can do this at no cost to the city in the future, but we're still working out the details. Only other couple comments I have is we don't have it quite just yet, but our road resurfacing program, we did award the monies, the $500,000+ for the contract this year. We are working with the contractor. We've given them a list of roads, and we're kind of getting it narrowed down to make sure we're within our budget and what roads. We'll be able to post those very soon. Currently, we're also working with the city of Trotwood, though, and because part of this program had to deal with Westbrook, and they generally will pay a certain amount of the funds for that, but we're still working that portion out to make sure we're going to confirm that. So it would change our road project if we were not to do that side of it. We also, if you noticed, recently we talked about this a couple months ago about upgrades to the government center compound. You've noticed we've been piling a lot of dirt in the back. I think the dirt piling's about finished. We should be, as June dries out, we should be starting the process of moving that dirt sometime in June, building our mound, our privacy mound here on the west side of the building. And you'll notice the old fence is down on the east side of the building. We've taken a tree down. We still got to remove a big, large stump at this point, but we'll be working with the fence contractor about installing a new red cedar fence, privacy fence on that side. You'll see that should be coming along sometime in June. And then we have a couple other quick announcements that I didn't have on the initial portion here. We do have the document shredding event for those who are in the audience, because they won't be able to, well, they can watch this on the website. The document shredding event, which is free, it is at Randolph Plaza on North Main Street from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. this coming Saturday, June 7th, and it is sponsored by Stephen Reed Agency from State Farm Insurance. So it's open to the public, so anybody who has confidential things that would like to have shredded, please show up there.
The Clayton public, isn't it, Rick?
It's actually to the public all the way around for that one.
Okay.
And then we do have we're also working with Inglewood for its Electronics Recycling Day, which is Saturday, June 21st. And that's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. At the 333 West National Road, or the Inglewood Government Center. And that's for electronics recycling.
But no televisions. That was on the...
Televisions will not be accepted, I see. Correct. That's
They're
all
too
I have.
heavy. The new ones are fine, but the old ones are too heavy.
Okay, any questions for the city manager?
Rick, where do we stand on finding out when the walkway grant from the Hoke Road to the high or middle school will be?
Well, Ms. Mann's checked on that, one of her last working days here, and was told that October would be it. They wouldn't give us any hints, anything, any other progress, just said we would be notified in October.
October would be it. So, if we would get legislation moving forward with the walkway, we could reimburse ourselves with the grant, correct, or not?
Well, it would change the complexion of how we started and what we do with the walkway. It would be my recommendation. I know folks are anxious to get this going, but it would be my recommendation that we wait to see what grant monies there are available, so that can help us to appropriately plan it, because there's some amenities that would have to be changed if we don't get the grant money, and if we did get it, it would be a big benefit to the project. So, like I said, I know it's wanted by the school, I know it's by the public, but it would be my recommendation that we've got through it this long, that we wait to see what we get from the grant.
I think we predicated doing it upon approval of the grant money. I believe that it
Under the assumption
what
that we
we
had-
approved was contingent upon getting the grant money.
I thought
Not
we had
legally obligated to do it if we don't get the grant money.
That's
But
right.
we have the money set aside to do it.
But we have identified money, lesser money. We'd have to do a lesser project.
Without the workout equipment. and-
Even without that, we have money set aside. We don't have enough money set aside through 2014 to complete the whole program with this, even without some of the amenities of workout equipment. So there would still, depending on what grant money is available, we would trim the project to be able to make what funding we have to match.
On that, Rick, I've had some public organizations and businesses approach me about possibly wanting to contribute money to this project. I have nothing official from the city to send them or to show them how they could become involved, but I do have several organizations, and if I would like it, at least something to where if they wanted to make a donation or some negotiations, if we could find another way to pay for this, we could move forward on it even faster.
Okay, well, if you could get me, if you have some businesses, if you can get me something, we can sure work on what else we can do with that. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? All right, visitors' comments, do we have? Thank you. Okay, Utanda Luster? If you'd come up and give us your name and address.
My name is Yatanda Lester, address 4291 Honeybrook Avenue. I am here today because I was trying to find out specific information and I haven't been able to do it yet. We have a park, Honeybrook Park, that's located in our immediate neighborhood, and the basketball rooms were taken down. I don't remember seeing anything in reference to why they were taken down. I've talked to the gentleman that's kind of over that department, and I'm just questioning why that happened and potentially what we can do, because there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood and they want to play basketball, and we don't have that in our area anymore.
We were approached by a neighborhood group who asked us to do that. So I think you're referring to Northview Park.
The Honeybrook, well, yes, yes,
Between
yes,
North,
yes.
yeah, there you go. Did we take that down a year ago, 2 years ago?
About 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And I'm not sure, it's not been brought to my attention if there's been a request for it to be put back up. Our original thought was to try to get some parks development together. We've not gotten that far. Do you know anything about it, Rick, about the...
Any other development for that area?
Yeah.
No, we've talked about looking at grant monies for some parks, and quite frankly, we have 3 parks that would be competing for that, and there hasn't been anything decided on that as of yet. Still under review for that.
When that originally happened, when they took them down, I was told that they were trying to put some type of styrofoam or something on the back of the boards to kind of decrease the noise. And I don't know that that was done, because since that time I've not really remember seeing rims back up. But other than that, I don't remember anything else being done. And I guess for me, having kids in the neighborhood, I mean, that's what kids like to do. They like to play basketball. So rather than taking the rims down, is there something else, I mean, that can be potentially done? That's what the park is for. The park is there for the kids to be able to play. They do get probably noisy, I'm assuming, but that's what the park is there for. It's for the kids. And that's a big part of, why we're here today.
It was not the kids in the neighborhood that caused the problem. It's the kids that played basketball.
Okay.
And they were not from your neighborhood. They were from outside of the neighborhood and created a lot of problems in the neighborhood with blocking people's driveways, profanity, amongst other things that were going on in the park that had absolutely nothing to do with basketball. And it was, like I said, it was not the kids within the neighborhood. It was the kids that came to play basketball from outside of the neighborhood.
It was actually running some of the families off.
And I'm a property owner, so I don't want anybody's property being vandalized, but I guess, there's two sides to that. You take it away from the kids that lived there and didn't do anything wrong. And I'm sure if those kids were doing something wrong, they probably moved somewhere else. I don't think it defeated them from doing whatever they were doing. They probably just went somewhere else and did it. But for us and for our kids that live in the area that want to play, there's nothing else in that proximity with those amenities for kids to just walk to and get to. So I guess I'm just asking for consideration of something else and it not to take another year for the kids in the neighborhood.
What I would suggest, the best way, is if you spoke to some of your neighbors. Maybe you could get 3 or 4 of your neighbors to come in here and talk to us. And if we see a consensus that the neighborhood in general would like it back, at least we would consider it, I'm sure.
Well, I think we've got somebody else that's asked to talk about it who was here at that time. So, Mr. Williams, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Basically, everything Tonda said, I think she covered everything. And then, again, like she said, especially for walking distance for kids. And even if there's an issue, I think we talked about it earlier, and she talked about even, what could be done to, reinforce or enforce the laws or whatever else. So if, people are doing that, we can keep that away without making, without the kids suffering in the community. So that's really, like I say, just take care of what, put the things that are on the books, enforce those so the kids don't have to suffer, and, in consideration for the people that live there. But I'm sure a lot can be done to keep away all that excess behavior, whatever was going on.
Okay. Well, Mr. Harlemert has asked to speak, so we might get a different opinion here, but thank you.
My name is Earl Harlemert. I live at 6420 Levon Court. I live on the opposite end of the park. We witnessed, our group of residents witnessed the park benches being chewed up, graffiti written on it, cars pulling in, Mercedes pulling in, with people doing something out the windows with the other kids. The kids in the neighborhood are all fine. I believe in the kids in the neighborhood, but it's not the kids in the neighborhood. It's not the traffic in the neighborhood going up and down our streets, blocking the two houses on the end. Keith's house is the third house. It was blocked most of the time. They pull in the end of the cul-de-sac in different ways, and some of the kids don't even get out, and they aren't kids. These are people that are in the 25 to 30 range, don't even get out of their cars, but they seem to be going to play basketball, but they never end up playing basketball. So we have to end up calling our finest officers down there, and they come down and they hustle them around a little bit, and they leave. Pretty soon they come back. So I oppose it. I oppose putting them back up because we do have such a problem on the other end of the street, and it's a cul-de-sac, comes down and it stops, and that's where we have our problems. So we had it taken down at the time.
Has it been more quiet since we took them down?
Come on down, enjoy yourself. In fact, you were working next door.
Yeah.
So it's been very, very quiet down there. Keith is at the end. The Rough is across the street. We've had no problems. In fact, we had a family in the park. The first time I've seen it, grilling in the park, and it was great.
And it's nothing against the local kids, I swear
It's
that.
not the kids in the neighborhood, it's
It-
not that.
It was actually running off people from using the park, and it was a difficult decision, because we don't want to take amenities from the kids.
That's right. Never want to block a kid from playing.
No.
But
no.
the people that were coming down was the problem. The cars coming down our street, we're supposed to be a 25 speed limit, and I know that they weren't 25, so, thank you.
All right, thank you. So it's kind of a dilemma, something that we've been thinking about since we had to take them down, what can be done. At one point, there was a discussion about that there were going to be hoops put up, I think, at one of the new school buildings.
Well, I believe Northwood actually has basketball hoops,
Okay.
which is on Noranda, which is in a close proximity to you. And that's something, yeah, we're talking, I remember discussing that.
That's good, actually.
So we'll keep working on it. We appreciate knowing, what your position is. I don't know what the answer is, but we'll keep working on it and see if there's something that can be done to make some arrangements where people can play basketball. It's just one of those things where, a group of people have made it bad for everybody.
Martina, one thing going with that, do we have signs posted in regards to liability of injury in the parks?
I'm not aware if there's a park.
And should we be concerned about that, talking about basketball? I mean, somebody falls and breaks their ankle.
Right. If there aren't signs,
Is that-
we could put them up.
Okay.
I think you'd probably be, even without the sign, I think you'd probably be covered under the general immunity, under the Ohio Revised Code.
Okay.
So if you want a sign, yes, you can put it up. My thought is you'd probably be covered anyway without the sign.
I played ball in a lot of parks, and I never saw a sign that says if you break your ankle, you're on your own. Everybody just assumes
People
if you broke
think a
your
little
ankle, you're on your
differently
own.
nowadays, though.
Mayor, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that for the school, the Northview School, I am pretty sure that it's posted for no trespassing. So they don't allow, when school's out, it's not authorized to just go play on their property. That's not our rules or anything. I'm pretty sure it's posted as no trespassing. So I don't want to see someone say, well, we'll go down to the school and play, and if it's posted for no trespassing, we're speaking for the school, kind of putting that out there. So if they've changed that rule, that's fine, but I would just say that is school property. We can't tell people they can or can't, but if it is posted as no trespassing, we would need to enforce that, so.
Northwood School or Northview? Because you said, because Northwood,
Northwood School.
okay.
No, I said Northview Park, didn't I? It's Northwood Park.
It's Northwood, but
Yeah.
we've always played there. I mean, I grew up, obviously, on the lawn court.
It is Northview Park, Northwood School.
Right.
Okay, okay, I was right, all right. So, we'll keep working on it and see. Did you have something you wanted to add, Earl?
Yeah, when I was president of the soccer leagues, the select leagues, we had a soccer field at Northwoods. We didn't ask permission. I called Dick Whistler, talked to him a second or two, and we did have we had the fields there, and he had no objection. Had no objection with playing basketball or anything on that field. And it's a great area. It's a large area, and it's a lot of fun. You can fly airplanes there.
Okay, well, hopefully there will be some options. All right, any visitors that didn't sign up that'd like to speak? Okay, council, Mr. Sloan?
Well, like I said, we will work on it, and we'll try and find some way. Anything we can do for the kids, always. It's been beautiful weather. Watch out for the kids playing on the street, and have a good summer.
Okay, Mr. Henny?
I hope everyone has a healthy and safe summer. Will our workshop next Thursday, is that public or?
All of our meetings are public.
So that will be at Meadowbrook, so, okay. I mean, just so everyone knows that it wouldn't be usually in tune. We will have another meeting next Thursday at Meadowbrook Country Club. It's a special meeting in regards to a special workshop. So that's going to take place next week, and we'll be addressing different goals for the city that council wants to see happen, and working with citizen input we've got too. So that'll be taking place next week.
There will not be any citizen input next week.
Oh, I mean citizen input council members have got
Okay.
thus far.
Yeah. Okay, Mr.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the American Legion 707 up in Englewood for a very nice memorial service that they performed at the memorial at the Northmont High School football stadium, as well as the, I'll call them band members from Northmont School, which played the trumpets and sang the patriotic songs, and the Navy ROTC did a great job of presenting the colors, and it was very nice ceremony, very short. Bob was there, and they had a nice crowd from around the area. And the other thing I would like to do is I'd like to congratulate Mr. Schweitzer on his daughter being the one of the valedictorians from Northmont High School. And I understand that she's going to Dennis Lieberman's alma mater to University of Miami. Is that correct? Miami. Oh, excuse me. Is that like the Miami University, or is that?
We were a university before Florida was a state.
What about Ohio State is the?
When was that? I missed that service. I go every year. When was that?
It was a Saturday Memorial Day, right, Bob?
Was it?
Saturday, 10 o'clock Saturday morning of Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I missed that. Mr. Merkel?
They have it every year with the VFW 7741 down on Main Street in Clayton.
Yeah, I've been.
They
there.
alternate years, and
Okay.
I just wanted to extend a word of appreciation to Debbie Mann and Gwen Everly on the work that they did for the city while they were employment here. For those who don't know, Deb took a position of city manager down in Florida. So on the 25th of May, she headed down to Florida to take on a new job. So I came up here and gave her my words of appreciation and wished her good luck in her new tasks, new adventures. So, and then Gwen being downtown with Montgomery County, at least doing economic development, we potentially have a contact person that we can make contact with in terms of doing some economic development efforts with. So while she's not here, at least we still have somebody to work with and a face that we know. So just want to extend those two words of appreciation and thanks for all that they did while they were here. And it is summertime coming up. Wish everybody a good, happy summer, and be safe.
Ms. Kelly?
I grew up down from the park too as well, and it is sad that we can't have basketball. And I understand your position. But on the flip side of it all, I did see activity going on as well. My son was almost hit playing outside. It's a shame. I mean, there's got to be a solution to that as well. And I do agree that they should be able to play basketball. But, you know, at the same point, it was sad with the activity. But hopefully we can work something out. Have a good weekend.
Mr. Lieberman?
For those of you that don't know but want to support Northmont football, there is a golf outing on June 13th. And it's a great golf outing, and if you're interested in participating, contact me, and I can get you in it.
Okay, I think the only thing that you have something?
yeah, I just, Rick, I believe that the Gorman-McKenna sewer is just about in. All they have to do yet is to pave over the street. I surely hope they're going to do that because it's quite a mess. But I was back earlier this week, and all the holes are covered, and
They are, I haven't gotten an actual finish date. We've requested that, and quite frankly, the county's requested that of the contractor, and they haven't gotten that information when it's going to be refinished. It is on our street projects to have something done with it. They will come back in, the county will go back in and fill where they've dug up the holes, but that street was already in. We found that there isn't much of a base in that street, so there isn't a whole lot to be, they'll patch some, but that will be one of our priorities as soon as our crews come in to start the street resurfacing. Depending if it's finished, we'll try to start that one first. And if it's not finished, we'll move it to there when we can, so.
The only thing that I had is I wanted to thank Good Samaritan North officials for inviting us to the groundbreaking today. It was a very nice occasion, and we appreciated being invited. So, with that,
I'll move for adjournment.
Second.
motion by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Merkel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.